Welcome back to the BRRRR Investor Podcast, where our mission is to empower aspiring real estate investors in their journey towards building generational wealth. All right, glad to be back with another episode. Today we have the pleasure of having Brigham and Brady from Main Street Business. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for
Course.
having us, Alex.
I'm excited to have a conversation about, what you guys do and, share with all the viewers and listeners the value you guys provide to investors, anybody that owns an entity. So I'm looking forward to that. We met last year in Arizona. I was talking to Brigham back then, and as soon as you told me about the service, I'm like, damn, that's a no-brainer, right? It's like something that anybody should have, especially someone like me. I own a number of LLCs and S corps and corporations, and let's be honest, I can't keep up with all the regulations and everything that I need to do. So I'm excited to have you guys on here, share, the knowledge you guys have. So let's start off by just telling us a little bit about yourselves.
Appreciate that, Alex. It really is a no-brainer when it comes to having expert compliance advisory for $199 a year so that you can go out and make triple that in an hour, right? Even more so. So we appreciate that. So yeah, at Main Street Business Services, we're your trusted partner on Main Street for over 10,000 business owners in all 50 states for the last 10 years. Whether it's been starting your business, creating privacy from the public, dealing with federal and state compliance in perpetuity, or expanding your business operations and opportunities. Our mission is to provide peace of mind for business owners and their families that result in accelerated growth and tax savings and improved business operations. We're founded by Mark J. Kohler and Matt Sorensen, two business and tax lawyers with a top 1% podcast and over 2 million downloads. The Main Street Business Podcast, if you guys want to check that out. And just they have a significant social media and YouTube following. Mark has over 400K on YouTube. So definitely check them out and subscribe to what they're updating and how they are keeping all of our members up to date on those tax savings and how to grow their business. And they're the partners that started KKOS Law, KKOS Lawyers, my mistake. That's been in existence for 23 years. So just so much knowledge and a great network to be a part of. And yeah, happy. I've been here now for almost 2 years and it's been a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and really our focus is to bring peace of mind to all these business owners, whether they're investors, no matter what they're doing, they have more important, bigger fish to fry, if you will. They don't need to be worrying about a lot of the stressful menial compliance, worrying about if somebody's going to show up at their doorstep with some legal notices, anything. So we offer privacy, we offer anonymity with public filings. And the main thing here is the company compliance services, helping them to focus on these bigger payout opportunities for their businesses. We are America's company compliance experts, and we're here to simplify this for them.
And you keep people out of trouble.
Yes, yes.
So I just want to mention, I'm a big fan of Matt and Mark. I have Matt's book over here. It's actually on this side where, because I'm actively reading it for the second time. And
Nice.
I'm a client of Directed. I'm a client of KKOS. I love what they do. I'm a big, huge fan. And, ironically, we had Nate on for the second time, Nate from Directed IRA. So
Yeah.
we did a webinar with him. He flew in person. So, and
Nice.
yeah, he came in last year. He flew into our Pasadena networking event. And again, not only that, they're great people. The staff, Lindsay, everybody there is amazing, and the support is phenomenal. But also, the products, solve a problem, right? The products are something that, I think many people need, not necessarily just investors, but many people need. So before we continue, I want to mention if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like or subscribe to support our channel and to help with the algorithm. And if you have any questions for these two, please put it down below and we'll make sure to answer them for you. As I mentioned, we do host networking events. We have two in person, two webinars. So if you want to be informed of any upcoming event, there's a link down below. Click on it so you can be informed. So let's get the party started. So can you guys, one of you dive a little deeper onto like if somebody wants to become a client, what does that look like? What are the services you do? Because one thing that, caught my attention is the price is just ridiculously low for what you offer. Like just somebody, being receiving the mail from my one entity, it costs more than what you guys charge for the entire service. So can you elaborate a little bit about, the service? What does that entail?
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brady, go ahead.
Yeah, I got this. So with company compliance service, that's the most essential. We're going to help maintain, track and file their state renewals. Corporate minutes. Now, corporate minutes is something that I think most people overlook, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But those are crucial to ensuring your corporate vel and asset protection. So that's something we're doing, and with keeping the business in good standing. To enroll as a client, obviously, you might have questions, you might have concerns, you may want to learn a little bit more about what those minutes or even your corporate meetings entail. We have staff here that can answer those questions, our compliance advisors that we would love anybody to schedule a call with. We can answer your questions, help you with that sign up process. We would really just want to get to know the clients a little bit better. All of our members, anybody looking to join, they all have unique businesses. They all have unique goals and aspirations that they're trying to achieve. So we want to better understand what those look like and how we can then help, like you said, Alex, solve a problem. And that's what we're here for. So if they're concerned about their privacy, they don't want their address or their name listed as the registered agent, we're going to receive those legal notices. We're going to protect them a little bit more in that way. So that's a little bit about what we do, how that process looks like.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. How about, can you guys touch on a little bit about the BOI? What's up with the BOI? Every time I just saw Matt posted something, I think this morning about, it's in limbo and so forth. Can you guys share from your standpoint, like what's going on, and does anybody need to still file it right now today?
Yeah, so right now the BOI is not required. Our business specifically, we are doing voluntary filings. Like, so we've had a lot of business owners that have said, hey, I just want you to file this for me because there's been so many changes to it. And if you're like, well, what changes have there been and what do I got to know? What do I got to do? Well, that's where we come in, right? So again, that compliance advisory service that we offer is $199 for the year. And this BOI was introduced by the Corporate Transparency Act that is also managed by FinCEN in the Department of Treasury, and they decided to roll this out back in like 2021.
It was 21.
Yeah, 2021. And so it took effect this year, and it was designed to, audit shell companies, look at money laundering, things of that nature. But it's really been a hassle for small business owners, and it really doesn't, most of the people have to file anyways, or just our blue collar, Main Street business owners that are out there kicking butt. And so there's been a lot of back and forth on whether that filing was going to be required or not. And since we had the change with the presidency, there's been more advocacy for, the states to police themselves and to not enforce this if it seems like a little bit of a waste and a hassle. And so right now it's currently not required, but it is in the courts going back and forth and could change. So again, that's why we advise, have our compliance service, make sure that you're on that for $199 a year, because we're going to keep track of all this for you. And if it does come back, yes, we can just file it quick and easy for you. We have all the information. So that's kind of the current status of it. Brady, I know you got some to add.
Yeah, with that, I just want to come back to what we've mentioned before, and you'll get this common theme with anything we talk about, Alex, is the phrase peace of mind. This whole BOI report, since it came into effect at the beginning of 2024, has brought so much commotion among small business owners. Everybody's got questions. Everybody's stressed about it. It's been crazy. And so that's why we threw this filing in as a courtesy as part of our company compliance service. And the purpose of, being on that again is peace of mind. You don't have to worry about whether or not it's required if you do business with us if you trust us with your business needs. We're going to track it. We're going to take care of that for you, like Brigham mentioned. So another great way to stay up to date with any of these requirements or changes with the BOI reporting specifically would be, if you're on social media or YouTube, is to follow Matt Sorensen, subscribe to him and Mark Kohler. They have their Main Street Business podcast that we mentioned as well. They go over everything. They'll keep you up to date as well. But as mentioned, they're the owners of our company, and they have the same goal, is just to bring simplified company compliance and peace of mind to everybody. So we'll track that.
Well said. So what we'll do is we'll also put the links to their podcast and YouTube channel in the description below. So check that out. They're just a wealth of knowledge, and they have a great personality and a sense of humor. So check them out on their podcast, on their YouTube channel. While you're in the description looking for the link, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel to support us, to help us grow and help us keep doing this content. So you mentioned, BOI. So right now, again, it's voluntary, and that is included in the compliance service that you guys offer, right? As
Correct.
courtesy. And you said it's $199.
Yes.
I've seen just the BOI, and I get it. It's not that hard to do, but I've seen people like have emailed me, different, services that they offer the BOI when it was mandatory. They offer anywhere between to do just the BOI 250 to like 650 just for the BOI. And you guys are it's 199 for the entire package. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So
Hey,
awesome.
yeah,
Main
that's
Street.
wild how they're ripping people off that way with some charges there. And again, yeah, that's only one aspect of the service that we're providing with that compliance advisory. Yeah, come on down our way.
Connect with these guys. It's going to take a lot of weight off your shoulders. I know for a fact, like, making sure you do your minutes, making sure, like, in California you have to do the SI and so forth. So make sure you're not, past due on anything to avoid issues with the state or anything like that. So I wanted to, as far when it comes to real estate investors specifically, like based on the conversations you guys have, I know you deal with different types of business owners. A lot of them are real estate investors. But what are some of the legal compliance issues you feel real estate investors often overlook when managing their entities?
Definitely some that are overlooked is really the value of family business meetings, board meetings quarterly, and that turning into their annual minutes that protect their corporate veil, especially for LLC owners. They'll skip that because they don't require it in every state, like in some of those states like they do with corporations. But the piece of paper or even the operating agreement with your LLC isn't going to hold you up in court or in any legal issues that arise. Having those annual minutes that are tracking the business dealings, operations, and what you're doing are really vital to your corporate veil being protected should anyone want to bring you down, if you will. And we often say, oh, well, like no one would ever do that to me, the people that I know, but it's not the people that it's their insurance company or it's the other people that are going to grab money from you. So I think that's definitely one of the key things that can be overlooked.
Yeah, some of the other benefits with those holding like annual board meetings, however often you wish to hold those, is there are some tax advantages you might be able to take advantage of. And this is why we're really advocating for Mark Kohler's YouTube videos, everything, because this is his biggest thing that he rants and raves about. And Alex, you mentioned his very unique personality. That's an understatement, I think, but he makes it fun to watch, easy to understand. I mean, even if I can understand it, anybody can. So get on there. One of the things he talks about is holding your family board meeting. And you might wonder, well, what is that? Well, the family board meeting is getting your family involved. You're creating a legacy for your family, no matter who's involved. He can discuss different tax breaks, advantages you might be able to take advantage of. And these annual minutes that we'll draft for you, not only will they help to hold up your corporate veil in a court of law, if you're audited by the IRS for certain tax cuts, anything you're trying to take in regards to these corporate board meetings or your family board meetings, they're going to help protect you against these audits. So if you're really looking to maximize your profits and your tax expenses, this is a great way to look into this further, take this to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Nope. Go, Alex,
I
go.
was gonna say, I've heard Mark talk about it over and over again, and it never gets boring, right? And the passion he has, but at the same time, the sense of humor that makes it stick, right? It's like it's something that I always remember. And then, the benefits of, kind of tying the business and the things that you have to do with family and educating your family, you're educating your kids. Again, it's all about leaving that legacy, right? And that's personally that's what I'm learning to do, from Mark, from Matt, and other people in the space, and kind of being that example to my kids, right? Because it's never too early. And once they hear it once, I get it. Sometimes some things are a little bit more complex and over their head, but once they hear it over and over again, and they're like, they see their dad, their mom doing it, it's like it really sticks out. But then also the tax benefits that you get from going on a family trip on an annual basis with your family. And then the thing that he harps about so much is the trifecta, right? And I got my trifecta. Once one of the attorneys from his firm, set it up for me. I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, right? It's like thinking of something, planning something, and then writing it down and drawing it out. For me, I'm a visual person, so it made a huge difference, and it allowed me to envision. The sky's the limit, right? These are the little things that I need to move around to grow and to bet. And these are the things that I need to shift and change to protect myself as well for asset protection. So it's phenomenal, the trifecta.
It is, yeah, it is. And it really highlights the value of being involved as a member in our services, in our company here at Main Street is the access to the network and to the like-minded people who are they're either they've been in this game and they know what that looks like and they're willing to share it and everything that's being learned there and that's what we're doing, or they're new and they're building that new family legacy and how important it is to start treating this as like your own education school, business school, because our kids getting this in high school, our kids getting this, in public schools, and if they are, why not get it from their family, right? So that generational wealth and knowledge can continue on versus being siloed, if you will, as we learn about it. So it is really exciting to see that network and have access to that. And yeah, I think one of the other things that you mentioned was like just with that trifecta, the understanding and ability to separate out your business operational expenses versus growth and really the value of how that's going to expand your business growth.
And how to protect things, right? Because, especially here, we're in California, and there's lawsuits happening all the time for the stupidest reasons, and you just really need to protect yourself. Things do go wrong, things happen, especially when you own real estate, when you're dealing with tenants and things like that. So as long as you do things correctly, you protect yourselves, I think that goes a long way. You just do whatever you can to do that. You brought up great points. One thing that really stood out to me was the community, the willingness to share, right? It's not that way in every community, in other industries as well, but let's stick to real estate. That's the thing, that's the problem I feel, is the willingness for people to share. Because I share these, like, once I met directed, and I connected with Matt. I met Matt at the Bigger Pockets conference. I bought multiple books of his and I gave them out to people. And then that's when the relationship evolved. Then he introduced me to Lindsay, then Lindsay introduced me to Nate. They send them over. When first of all, I was blown away by what I learned. I didn't even think that was possible. It's like, why at this time of my life, like, I'm just learning about this, right? And then when I start sharing it with other people, they're like, what the heck is this? Is this really true, right? It's like, why is it such a secret? You know?
Right.
I mean, I think and I love the name Main Street Business is like, I think it should be Main Street. I think everybody should know about it. It's
Right.
if you don't need it, great, no problem. But if you benefit from it or you know somebody that does need it could really, make a difference in people's lives and business.
Absolutely. And for anyone that doesn't know exactly what Alex is talking about, and Alex, you've maybe been working with Directed and Matt longer than I've been on board here, but it really is something that has been secret and that should be educated more, right? We grew up thinking that the only way to invest was through the stock market, through Fidelity, rather than self-directing our investments. What a great opportunity now as entrepreneurs, as real estate, to set up our assets under a legal entity that we can make money, and that we can engage with and invest in people that we know, people that we believe in, and that they're running a business, and crypto and other alternative assets that really are hotter than the stock market a lot of the times, and that we also just have interest in.
Yeah, it's like we're bringing down all these secrets from Wall Street, for everybody. Everybody deserves to know about these and to learn how to really manage their business and take advantage of some of these different things.
And to take it to another level, I mean, if somebody's listening to us here, they would probably think that, Directed IRA has all these, products that they're selling you, like these, mutual funds and stuff like that. No, they're the servicer. You invest in whatever you want to invest. I don't want to dive too deep into this, because on this channel we talk about it all the time. What I do want to do is encourage you guys to check out the podcast that I did with Nate. Check out the webinar that we recently did with Nate as well. And we're gonna bring Nate back on to dive deeper into this subject. But take the time and check it out. And then again, while you're at it, subscribe to the channel. This way you get notified of any videos that we have, any new episodes that we have, and hit the like button. We're also gonna, bring you guys on the webinar. So there's a link down below. Again, you can register to our event page. This way you get notified when we do have an event, whether in person or online. If you're in the LA area, we'd love to meet you in person. If not, we started these online webinars this way to give everybody an opportunity, because we have people nationwide and internationally in our community. We want to share this knowledge with them. So make sure you subscribe to that. This way you get notified when Brigham and Brady are going to come back on for the webinar to share more wealth and dive deeper into the services. This right now we want to kind of touch on this, have a conversation about this, have fun with it. But they're going to be back.
We appreciate
Yes,
that,
sir.
Alex. Thanks for having us on.
Awesome. I do want to jump into another thing. You touched on it a little bit, like as far as compliance in different states, like are there different requirements, from state to state that people have to do? Do you guys, can you touch on that a little bit?
So states definitely have different requirements. Some states require a filing every year. Some states require an annual report filing every year, and then sometimes it's biannual, so it's every other year. And then with that can be the including of re-registering your business as well. Texas requires a certificate of formation with specific real estate clauses. California mandates detailed operating agreements, and for real estate LLCs, I think it's Proposition 13. Regarding the property tax assessment. So there's certain states too where you have to pay franchise tax fees. If you're opening a business that's going to operate in multiple states, you need to register it as a foreign entity versus a domestic. And Utah and Florida have different required filings that come with that. So there's a fair amount of differences, and so that's what our compliance advisory service is here for. And we're making sure that no matter what state you're in and the multiple states that you're in, that we are keeping track of those differences as well.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to add is just to note the renewal date or the due date of these filings. This varies depending on the type of entity that you have set up, whether it's a corporation or an LLC. These changes, some states are early renewal states, and they require you, no matter when you set up your company, to file early by a specific date. So like Florida, for example, everything's due by May 1st, regardless of when you set it up. So we keep track of these varying requirements. We keep track of the amount that the state charges. Most states require a state filing fee to renew your company. And the great thing about us is we're very transparent about these fees. We do not upcharge on these fees. We charge the exact amount that the state charges. The only thing you pay for additional is just our service. And again, for company compliance at $199 per year, that's a great deal. So we'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about due dates, tracking, filing, any of it. We'll take care of it.
Thank you, Brady. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing
Of
that. And then something to consider as well, too, and this kind of goes back to your previous question on something that people overlook is depending on where you're wanting to open that next real estate investment, that next business, you can have complete privacy when you open that if you are using our registered agent and privacy address services from the beginning, right? You can get way more privacy versus in some states. You'll always have to be somewhat on the setup documents. So yeah, there's some different states where you can have more privacy and some where you can't.
Based on the fees, I know Brady mentioned, you guys don't upcharge and all that, which is amazing. Based on your experience, what's the most expensive state to have an entity in?
That would be Nevada.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Nevada for a corporation. I'm going to throw out this number here, and I don't know who decided this, but it's $666 to renew in Nevada.
Wow.
Now,
That's
you get a little bit different if you look at California, though. California is one that they kind of hide their fees a little bit. They charge $20 to $25 for the SI that you mentioned, the statement of information.
yeah.
But then where California gets you is with the franchise tax report. That's the additional 800.
Yeah.
So just for the statement of information or the annual report, Nevada is probably the most.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah, I thought it was California, but California still has ways to get you. That's for sure.
Yeah, they find their ways. So
You guys may not deal with this, but as far as dissolving entities, do you guys deal with that? Or if somebody needs to dissolve it, what do you guys offer when it comes to that?
Yeah, so currently we're not personally dissolving the entities under Main Street Business Services. But for those that know, we came from KKOS Lawyers, and that is who does our dissolutions. And so we refer everything over to them. Would highly recommend that. They've been doing that 23 years experience. You can't go wrong there. So definitely have a great resource there with KKOS Lawyers to handle those dissolutions, which, yeah, are really important if you're going to get into the legal obligations, the tax considerations, and different rules that states have. Should there be any legal things that come about, you want to make sure you have the proper paperwork for that.
Yeah.
yeah, and the cost for that, I'll just throw this out there. So anybody that's looking to dissolve an entity, don't let it lapse. Don't just say, I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to worry about it. That is a mess you don't want to get into. You don't want to run into any legal issues because you didn't properly dissolve. KKOS Lawyers to dissolve an entity, it's just $195 plus any state filing fees.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that figure. Very helpful. And before I met KQS Lawyers, I was dissolving a Texas entity because I didn't end up using it. I got the LLC, I was acquiring the property, we opened escrow, the things didn't go the way I expected, so I didn't end up acquiring that property, so I wanted to close it. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's still annoying, the time, the follow-up, and then making sure you don't make mistakes. And then if you do make mistakes, you end up, getting penalized. So pay that 100 something dollar fee and just get it over with.
Agreed.
If somebody is not compliant, what are some of the legal or financial repercussions someone needs to, think about, like for failing to be compliant? And this may not apply across the board in all states, but, can you share something along those lines?
Yeah, most states will have penalties where if you file late, there's a small penalty. Usually those are not too expensive. They range anywhere from, 15 to, some states get a little more expensive, but if a certain amount of time lapses from when your report was due, when you were due to file, and you fail to file that within that window, even of the window of being late, your company will go into bad standing, or admin dissolved is what it's typically listed with most states. Once your company is listed as admin dissolved or administratively dissolved, then the fees start to really ramp up. In Florida, they charge $400 on top of the state filing fee and additional late fees. So at that point, just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get it done. You want to try and stick to doing this on time as much as possible. Other
Yeah.
states, they're similar, but I think Florida has the worst penalty for reinstatement with that. So
Florida's is bad. California's, Delaware's is a monthly penalty with interest. So yeah, there's a few that are quite pricey.
yeah, that interest that'll rack up pretty quick. So
Wow, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you had some specifics there. That really helps out. Um, last thing I want to end with is, are there any like emerging trends or upcoming changes in compliance that someone needs to consider, especially with the incoming president and the changes we have in the government?
yeah, Brigham mentioned that the trend that's emerging right now with the new change in presidency is it looks like they're really wanting to favor small business owners a lot more. So I think they're going to really push a lot of these issues back to the states. So,
Mhm.
pay attention to your local elections, local voting, everything. That's really going to make a difference with what you want to happen in your specific state. And I think that's a great thing. It gives more power to the people, more power to business owners. But some of the changes to look for that we're keeping up with as well is, increased regulatory scrutiny, environmental, social, and governance that we just mentioned. Data privacy and cybersecurity are huge, and same with like digital compliance solutions. States are starting to adopt more AI, more technology, newer technology to do their job for them when it comes to auditing who's filing, who's on time, who's kept up with this. So I think that the regulations are only going to get more difficult to stay in compliance with. We're also keeping up with these same technologies. So if we're taking care of this, again, I'm coming back to that peace of mind that we're offering you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about what new technologies they're using, whether or not you're filing on time. We'll manage that for you. We will take care of that, and you can rest easy and just again focus on bigger payout opportunities for your companies.
Yeah, I think as like business owners, and Alex, I know you're interacting with a lot of investors and real estate business owners, right? It's interesting. We always see this trend with government of like being slow or like not adopting things that are common practice or that are helping everybody to move faster, be more efficient, whatever it might be. We're also seeing that every 4 years we've got to deal with all these changes of opinion on different laws, right? And so it's really smart to have a small business compliance advisory service for under $200 a year that's going to continue to keep track of these differing opinions and the different laws that are going to continue to change with government control, right? I think we'd agree that as things become more automated and as more technology comes out, there's ways where like the government feels like they're potentially losing control or don't have as much control. And so they're going to continue to, make laws, change compliance things to try and interact with us more, to try and make sure that they're getting, their cut and that people getting by without doing all the compliance and the things that they're supposed to be doing, right? So the value really of our services again is going to be monitoring those changes, updating you on those changes, and our membership giving you peace of mind to explore the opportunities and capitalize on your creativity as an investor and business owner, and go out and grow your business and protect it and build relationships with the people that are in your business, while we just on the back end help you protect your corporate veil and keep you up to date on all of these changes that are coming out, and all the ways that the government is going to continue to try and mandate and regulate us as they see that people are having more freedom with crypto and just so many different avenues to make a living, and create their own life.
And just give business owners a peace of mind to focus on their business, like you said. Focus on your business, grow your business, run your business like a business, and it's smart. It's a no-brainer to have, the services you guys offer. So appreciate you guys sharing this with our viewers and our listeners. This is extremely helpful, very affordable, and very caring for it to be that affordable. That truly goes down to that Main Street business, caring about others and making sure the success, and then the resources you guys have, as the affiliation with KKOS and directed, and the support that you guys provide overall is phenomenal. So how could our listeners or viewers connect with you if they want to schedule a call or become a client?
Yeah, so I believe, Alex, we discussed having a link in the description wherever this will be posted, in the various places like in YouTube and on your podcast. So that's one way. I would highly recommend going through that link. On there, you'll get to our website. You'll be able to book a call with one of our compliance advisors. That would be me, as well as any of my teammates. And then another thing is, if you're somebody that, maybe this podcast answered all of your questions, it's pretty straightforward, and you just are the type that wants to do it yourself, just go ahead and sign up through that link, create your account, put your business information in there. And then the only other thing that we'll request from you to be able to keep up with these filings is, part of this is storing digital corporate records. So like your stamped articles of organization and your EIN verification. These are used to help with our minutes that we would complete for you, but also just as a secure way to store these in case you need to access them on the go. We'll be able to help you with that.
And if you're already saying, I'm not quite sure where those are at, or like, I need to go find those, then I recommend signing up.
Yes.
That's another reason why you should, right?
Yes, we have resources. We can help you find where to get those. Most of those you can actually obtain from the state. They'll have a link. If you search up your company on the Secretary of State website, you can request those original stamped articles, anything like that. So if you're missing those, get them from the state. You want to have those in your corporate book, and then we'll store a digital copy on your account. So
It's so important to be able to have access to these, on the go, especially when you're dealing with multiple entities and so forth. So that's cool, very organized. So as you heard, if you need more information, you want to schedule a call with them, or if you're ready to, become a client, you want to open up an account, just click the link that we're going to have in the description below. You'll be able to have direct access to that. Gentlemen, thanks again for taking the time to come down. I know you guys are busy, and we truly appreciate you guys taking the time and sharing all this knowledge with everyone. I look forward to having you guys on our webinar to dive deeper into this. And you guys have an awesome day, man.
of course,
Hey,
thanks, Alex.
thank you, Alex. It's been a pleasure. We appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you all for joining us on the BRRRR Investor Podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please hit like and subscribe to our channel for more real estate insights. We love hearing from you, so please leave your thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like us to cover in the comments section below. Be sure to check out our website, thebrrinvestor.com, and follow us on social media at The BRRRR Investor. Keep learning and investing, and we'll see you in the next episode. I'm your host, Alex Nahle. Stay invested.